You are still watching Ways. Now, National Toast Day is celebrated on the last Thursday in February, and this year it takes place on February 24th. It pays homage to food that is often ignored, but a whole so important role to play with, which comes when it comes to rather breakfast, brunch, or even snacking purposes. Now, the art of making toast is brilliant in both its simplicity and the variety of ways in which one can end up with toast. It is a physical marvel too when one thinks of how different bread and toast are, despite them technically being the same thing. Now, toast can be crunchy, warm, and makes you want to eat a whole load of bread, whereas bread has a denser consistency, which often satiates your appetite faster. So whatever the case, we love to, if you love a toast, today is your day. We love it anyhow.
I craved bread today. But I didn't eat it.
I
resisted. This is the reason why it was toast today.
Right.
But toast is a fantastic way to eat bread. I hear it's actually healthier toasting the bread than eating it.
Let them
I don't know. I said I hear. Thankfully, I have trained myself to say no to anything. So I can actually say no. I can pass on. But it's one of those meals that I would love to.
I like
to experience every now and then. The warm feeling, just crunchy.
And munch on it, that crispy feeling you get when
Absolutely.
you munch on it is
You have
quite tasty.
Read my lips. You have one life and one life. You have to indulge a little. A little. Indulge a little. But toast is actually good. I love toast.
I do.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I actually prefer the baguette bread.
Baguette bread,
Yeah, the baguette bread compared to the regular bread, because I like the crunchy, the hard.
The hard back.
Yeah. So,
Good.
who are we starting with? Which links to what?
Has links to mine.
yours. Okay, so let's start with Norma.
Okay, so my news. The news of the moment is the situation in Russia and Ukraine. So Russia launches military attack on Ukraine with reports of explosions and troops crossing borders, right? So Russian forces had begun an attack this morning with troops crossing the border to the north and south, and explosions in multiple cities, including the capital, Kiev, and warnings from Russian President Vladimir Putin of bloodshed unless Ukraine forces lay down their arms. The offensive, they called it a special military operation, and this is an attempt to avert catastrophe with a meeting of the United Nations Security Council amid warnings that a possible invasion could start the biggest war in Europe since 1945.
Wow.
So this is the news of the moment. There's so much going on. People are fleeing. There have been videos and clips on most of the news houses, carrying the news about this report on Russia. And it's one of those things that even if we are here in Africa, it's really going to affect everyone, wherever you find yourself. Because if another war, people who have been through war and who know the impacts that war has would tell you that you don't want another war to start.
Especially now that the world is a global village.
It's going to affect us one way or the other, whether you're in Africa, whether you're in Asia, wherever you are. I
was going to say that even just to add to this attack, just before we came on air, we saw the reports that the international airport in Ukraine
has been
bombed. And the thing is, they actually said that there were several warnings that were given to Ukrainians to evacuate and all of that. So we had seen a rush. I think I'd sent that, but I think it was on Monday.
Yeah.
But I'd seen a rush where people rushed to the airport, were trying to flee Ukraine.
The country.
And, and this then happens. Well, interesting thing is that the President, Joe Biden, has called on the
EU.
NATO, so that they can sit down and see how they can probably, so the things that would probably be happening are things like withdrawal of economic benefits that they, so all those sanctions will be put in place. But let me hear your story, Isi.
Okay, my story goes first. It says Russia versus Ukraine, of course, and it's on Atiku tells Buhari government what to do. And this was coined from Daily Post, and it says former president former vice president and former People's Democratic Party PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has reacted to the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, and he says that the federal government should evacuate Nigerians who are residing in Ukraine. And he said this, that in the context that we have a lot of students who are in Ukraine, who are in Ukraine, and most of the Nigerians who are in Ukraine are students. So because of this, it's crucial that the president, seeks ways to get the students out of Ukraine currently. He said the conflict between Russia and Ukraine demands that all nations of goodwill must rise to ensure that diplomacy is deployed to de-escalate the situation. And I totally agree with him in that context. Because the world is actually looking and waiting. And this could cause a ripple effect. Because if without, what's it called? Without
proper management of the situation.
No, if without provocation, Russia is able to attack a country like Ukraine, what will now happen to other third world countries? It's not about what is happening in Ukraine right now. It is what will happen afterwards. Yes, it's what will happen afterwards. That means countries like Africa, countries in Africa, countries in in other third world countries will not be able to stand on their feet.
God help us.
In fact, talking about the ripple effect, by sometimes when the war is over, all of the equipment for war, some of these countries will have to sell them off to. They have to offload all of those weapons.
Yes.
And most times they come to Africa. And at the end of the day, you're going to have people being equipped with massive, destructive weapons that are going to continue to cause mass destruction.
You can imagine.
So, I mean, it's just an offshoot of you talking about the ripple effect.
So let's just bring it home.
Aftermath.
Because I don't know who else is suffering what I'm suffering. ECO Electricity Distribution Company has revealed that the power allocations to its network from Transmission Company of Nigeria dropped from 450 megawatts to 156 megawatts, a 65.3% decrease in supply, blaming the supply reduction as the reason it has been unable to meet supply demands of its customer. This was made known by the statement received by Energy Day and signed by the company's spokesman, Godwin Idemudia. Now, according to Idemudia, the total current allocation of power supply from the TCN to the various power stations in the EKEDC network has dropped to that 156 from 145. So he said, for example, the expected supply allocation to the Alagbon transmission substation is supposed to be 100 megawatts, and we are currently receiving 67 megawatts, while the Jora transmission substation expects about an average of 75 megawatts, but is currently receiving 13 megawatts. This is nowhere near enough to satisfy the customer. So they apologize to customers for the inconvenience the drop in power supply might have caused, and assured that that the ECO is working with the TCN to prefer prompt resolution to the issue. This is really bad because, I mean, I was leaving my house today at 8:30 or so. I had to power on the gen to run till I got back around that 4 o'clock. I left the gen on because for the past 2 straight days we've not had light, so I needed to power the fridges, the freezers, and all of that
keep
because
things cool.
Everything that was inside that place had defrosted, and this is why the thing sometimes is so frustrating. You cannot plan. you're supposed to just plan your
Waste.
meal, cook and keep them in the freezer for the kind of life we
The
are
loss-
all over the place.
the loss
I
is
I
grave.
cooked all over the weekend, packed everything neatly in the bowls, and now I am thinking, oh my God, there's no light. I have to power the gen. So please, we are begging. We understand what is happening, but please.
They've also increased tariffs. I don't know if
Of
you
course,
noticed.
of course, that one has been there. We don't have a problem. People like my people that live
They
in
just
Magodo,
increased it again.
I'm saying the people that live, they've always been paying premium. But at least the good thing is that those ones, they even see the light, right? So we are even asking, even if you want to increase it, because already the cost of diesel right now is quite high. So we limit the diesel gen running for a bit, you know. So now, before we could augment, we have solar and we have inverter, but they don't power our fridges and all of that.
Yeah.
So now it means that everybody just needs to start finding ways. I mean, I might told Milola's line. Milola's house is fully solar for 6 years. Both ACs, fridges, everything has been on solar.
Wow.
So I'm thinking, you know, you see now all this
That's
one,
a lot of
fuel scarcity, you know, they
investment.
consign her. It was a huge investment.
Just get off the
Very.
grill.
Yes.
Honestly.
Off the
Once you
grid.
get off the grid,
Yes.
you're up.
It was fuel
In fact,
if it's fuel
life is
scarcity,
better.
it doesn't concern her. If it is what's it called, eco disco that loses megawatt, it does not concern. You know, so I just thought to mention, because this is really bad. I mean, like, I had to leave the gen on and I left the house. Just let it be running. I didn't. The gen was still running when I got back at 4 p.m. to get ready and start heading to the studio.
Come over.
You know, so it's, I mean,
The
but how many
question-
people can afford that? Because
Aside
again, we
from
have
that,
Exactly.
fuel scarcity.
Those were my
not-
concerns.
Oh, gosh.
How many people can afford?
The question we're
Even
still not
the
asking,
normal,
we're still not asking a question, the one crucial question.
Supply of current.
How come it dropped? How did it drop? That's the first question we should have asked. Why did it drop?
They'll tell you there's no rain.
There's
I
no
think
one-
it dropped so it's linked to something else. I will find that thing, but it's linked to something else. So because some of these people, the power holding companies, is a long story. But me, I just shall know that there is no light. In summary, that's all I came
The
to tell
key
you.
thing is how it affects you.
The thing is that there is no light, so I don't even know what to do right now. But thankfully, the fuel situation has calmed down a little bit.
Yes,
better.
has it?
Yes, I drove in today. Just
And
got
you were
fuel.
able to
People are
get
just
fuel.
panic buying. They should stop it, please. There's fuel now. Just take it easy. You get your
Okay.
turn.
Let's step at a time.
All right,
Let's see how
so-
it goes.
We want to discuss our president. He's telling you, young people out there. He says, since you have refused not to leave, I mean, not to stop migrating, he has gone to tell the people that will receive you that
That they should not receive you.
They should not receive you. That's our conversation for today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.